Hot topics of the day, Teddy. Not often that we're going to be able to go over women's college basketball whenever something noted happens. We're going to talk about it there. Baylor gets the upset over UConn. Teddy, can you believe it? 126 straight regular season games finally comes to an end. There's actually some opposition for UConn, Teddy?
No, there isn't. But let's start with this. We're a sports betting show. Okay, UConn lost first time 126 games. Who gives a shit? That being
Teddy,
said,
this is the new Me Too movement out here, Teddy. It's a Me Too movement. We have to give equal time to women's programs here. We're doing them a disservice not talking about them.
we're not betting on them. Therefore, we're not talking about them. When, at Final Four, women's hoops, people bet it all the time. Regular season women's hoops, is there a marketplace for that? I haven't seen it. I haven't bet it.
50-point lines, Teddy? Get ahead of these lines. Some of these are 40, 50-point lines, Teddy, we can get ahead of, or at least make them up on our own.
Sure. I mean, again, you see it for the women's tournament in March. At this stage of the season, UConn losing, what'd they shoot? Less than 30% from the floor. They were due for a bad game. They played a good team. They lost. It happens. Happens even to the best.
People, don't get it twisted out there, people. Teddy was watching this game over all the other elements last night. It's why we included it here in the rundown here. Let's get to some NBA action last night, Teddy. A couple things going around the association. The one that we were talking about a lot were the Rockets getting 8.5 points as they entered into Golden State. Down 20 early. They said, you know what? Looks like this ticket might be a little bit to cash, but not so fast, my friend. In the NBA, teams make runs. The Rockets made a run, pulled off the upset at Golden State. Steph Curry comes out and says, you can't lose 20-point leads at home if you want to win championships.
And he's right. That being said, back-to-back games at home, the Warriors have lost on impossible buzzer-beating three-pointers. Sometimes in football, somebody just makes a play, catch it. What are you going to do? In basketball, sometimes somebody makes the shot. Harden was as well defended as you can be on the final possession. He's a great player. He had an impossible shot. Warriors lose. This is not the end of the Warriors' dominant run. Remember, they still haven't played a game with DeMarcus Cousins yet this season. Golden State's just fine. We'll give Harden credit. Remarkable ball game. He's on fire right now. And certainly when it comes to the way he's being refereed these days, you can't touch him, and that means you can't defend him. If you touch him, you go to the free throw line. And if you don't, he hits a shot. He's as difficult a player as there is to defend in the league, and the Warriors found that out the hard way last night with another third straight home loss for Golden State. Don't panic. The Warriors will be just fine.
Yeah, James Harden's stat line, 44, 15, and 10. Another amazing one there, Teddy. We always like to rail in the NFL because it seems like their referees, or at least to the eye, get it wrong more than any other sport. It's just what the perception is out there. Last night, Kevin Durant ran out of bounds a good 4 to 5 steps, then tossed the ball back in with both feet out of bounds for a 2-point play for the Golden State Warriors to take the lead late. Now, probably not going to factor into the overall, grand scheme of things if you were betting the basketball game other than money line wise. But how can referees let that one go and be unscathed? I made a joke this morning saying because nobody on the East Coast even saw the game to begin with since it finished up so late on the West Coast out there. Teddy, your thoughts on the NBA refereeing, and should we put them on the hot burner here?
Look, it doesn't matter what sport you're going to talk about. Baseball, they're complaining balls and strikes. Now you have replay, and replay gets it wrong. Football, you have, do the refs take over the game or don't they? What's this call? How'd they miss that call? Same thing in hoops. Referees are human. They will not see everything. They will make mistakes. Just like you, just like me. To expect perfection is not real. What I like about the concept of instant replay is that it allows refs to go back and get things right. The NBA uses that at the end of ball games. They don't use it when it comes to foul calls and stuff like this. I don't know why. It's keep the game flowing, I guess, is the best the thought behind it. But bottom line, NBA refs, they're okay. They're going to do what they do. And it's our job as handicappers to not get freaked out when calls don't go our way. Come back and fight another battle the next day.
Teddy, let's head down to Texas last night. A reunion homecoming of sorts there for Kawhi Leonard coming in from Toronto to play his good old pals there in San Antonio. And they put the welcome mat out for him, Teddy, then pulled it right out from under him. Easy winner for the San Antonio Spurs. Wasn't close from the beginning. I believe a 20-point first quarter lead at one point. Is this one that says, you know what, Pop says, because you called it yesterday on the show, Pop's got a little bit of something here and knows exactly what Kawhi likes to do and not do. Kawhi Leonard, one of the worst games he played plus-minus-wise in his NBA history. Any coincidence, Teddy, that it happened versus the Spurs?
I don't think it's a coincidence at all. And this is one, I don't watch a lot of pregame introductions in the NBA necessarily. This is one I watched from the get-go. And, of course, you saw the great tribute to Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, guys, championship winners in San Antonio. And, of course, when the players were introduced, Green got a thunderous applause, and Kawhi got a resounding torrent of boos. And I think it affected him. I legitimately think it affected him. Kawhi Leonard was not ready to play from the opening tip last night. The Raptors as a team were not ready to play. It was 34-11 when I said this game's over, and it was. There was no run for Toronto. NBA's a game of runs. There was no run for the Raptors last night. Spurs are playing great basketball, and Kawhi Leonard did not have his A game. I understand it. A very emotional situation. He's a human being just like we are. He didn't play well. The Raptors needed to play well. Blowout for the Spurs. Easy winner if you had San Antonio and or the over in that ball game.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan coming back there and having a pretty good basketball game there with a triple-double, Teddy.